Hey, Shalom, Israel, Brother Reggie Jr. here. So today, guys, we're going to be picking up with Deuteronomy Chapter 10. Just picking up where I left off from last time, guys. And in the previous lesson, the Lord was simply telling Israel through Moses that, hey, the reason why I'm taking you guys into the land of Canaan is not because you're so special or you're just such a numerous people, because he's like, number one, when I first met you, you were the fewest of all people. And on top of that, you are evil as hell. So don't think that there is nothing special about you. The Lord is like, no, I'm trying to uphold a promise to your fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, because I told them, okay, that their seed would inherit the land of Canaan. And so I'm making sure I'm fulfilling my end of the deal. And the Lord also said, hey, on top of that, these Canaanites have been doing evil in the land of Canaan for a very long time. So their sin cup has finally filled up. This is why I'm kicking out the Canaanites and placing you there. Because I'm upholding the promise, and also because them Canaanites been doing a lot of sinning. And the Lord told the children of Israel not to marvel at that, because he like, listen, you go in that land and you do the same junk them Canaanites was doing, guess what? Just like these Canaanites, I'm going to do to you. I'm going to beat your tail. Okay, nations are going to make war with you. They're going to beat you down, and you're going to be scattered to the four winds. And brothers and sisters, did the Lord lie? He sure did not, because where are we? We right here in captivity. Confusion of faces. Everybody looking stupid. Okay, so the Lord meant what he said. He said, listen, you start doing evil like them Canaanites did, I'm telling y'all, you're going to get just what they get. And that's what we getting too, brothers and sisters. But we're going to go ahead and get started. Let me get some water. All right. Let's go ahead and get into this. Deuteronomy chapter 10 and verse 1. And it says, at that time, the Lord said unto me, hew thee 2 tables of stone like unto the first. Because remember, when Moses seen the evil after he got down out of the mount, he seen the evil that Israel did. He broke them 2 tables of stone that had the covenant written on it. Okay, he was mad. So the Lord said, hey, hew thee 2 tables of stone like unto the first, and come up unto me into the mount, and make thee an ark of wood. And I will write on the tables the words that were in the first tables which thou breakest, and thou shalt put them in the ark. And I made an ark of shittim wood, and I hewed 2 tables of stone like unto the first, and went up into the mount, having the 2 tables in mine hand. And he wrote upon the tables, according to the first writing, the 10 commandments, which the Lord spake unto you in the mount, out of the midst of the fire in the day of the assembly. And the Lord gave them unto me. And so the Lord rewrote them commandments. Because what was he saying? Hey, listen, these commandments, they're not going nowhere. You are to live by them. All right. Verse 5. And I turned myself and came down from the mount, and put the tables in the ark which I had made, and there they be as the Lord commanded. 6. And the children of Israel took their journey from Beeroth of the children of Jacob to Masariah. There Aaron died, and there he was buried. And Eleazar his son ministered in the priest's office in his stead. So Eleazar had became the new high priest, because Aaron was dead. Verse 7. From thence they journeyed unto Golgotha, and from Golgotha to Jotbath, a land of rivers of water. At that time the Lord separated the tribe of Levi to bear the ark of the covenant of the Lord, to stand before the Lord, to minister unto him, and to bless in his name unto this day. So he separated the tribe of Levi. So no other tribe was to do the duties that was assigned to Levi, because they would have been considered a stranger and the Lord would have put them to death. The Lord makes that very clear. Verse 9, it says, wherefore Levi have no part nor inheritance with his brethren. Okay. And so when he's saying inheritance, he's talking about land. Levi will have no land, but yet Levi did have basically suburbs among his brethren, or like apartment complexes almost. But Levi, the tribe themselves, they didn't actually have a land. They just lived among their brothers and sisters. But it says the Lord is their inheritance, as the Lord thy God promised him. So just because the Levites had no land did not mean they were a broke tribe, because that's kind of all that's how the tribe of Levi is always portrayed. Like they were just this broke, wandering tribe. Like, no, Levi was they were probably the most, they were the most elite class among the Israelites. They were the richest, the wealthiest, because remember, the Lord received the best of everything. And so if the Lord received the best of everything, guess what that meant for Levi? They took a portion in that. So they received the best of everything. So Levi wasn't no broke tribe. Okay. It says, according as the Lord thy God promised him, verse 10, and I stayed in the mount according to the first time for 40 days and 40 nights. And the Lord hearkened unto me at that time also, and the Lord would not destroy me. And the Lord said unto me, arise, take thy journey before the people. So when Moses went back up in the mount a second time, so that way the Lord can write them 10 commandments back on them 2 tables of stone, he also stayed again for 40 days and 40 nights before the Lord. And so after he wrote them commandments on the tables, the Lord had some words for Moses. Verse 11, and the Lord said unto me, arise, take thy journey before the people, that thy may go in and possess the land which I swear unto their fathers to give unto them. And now, Israel, what doeth the Lord thy God require of thee? Okay, so what is the Lord asking for out of the children of Israel? Well, let's see. But to fear the Lord thy God. And this fear we talking about here, brothers and sisters, is not reverence. A lot of Christians like to say that. And when he say fear, brothers and sisters, he not saying be afraid. He's saying reverence him. No. When he says fear, no, that's what he means. I want you shaking in your boots. I want you terrified when you hear my name. I want you to tremble. You know why? Because that commands respect. That causes you to be cautious when you're dealing with the Lord. And it causes you to be cautious in the way that you live your life. Because you fear the Lord. Fear what? You fear what he can do to you. You've seen the things he's done to your enemies. So if I decide to become an enemy of the Lord, he gonna do unto me what he did unto my enemies. Okay? And that's what these Israelites today in 2024, this generation is missing. They're missing fear. They talk about the Lord. He's a good quote. He's a good meme, but they don't have any fear. That's why their life is not lining up with the quotes and the memes that they make about God, because there's no fear there. And where there's no fear, there is no change. Okay, but let's keep reading. I don't want to get stuck on that. So all he's requiring of the children of Israel is what? To fear and to walk in all his ways and to love him and serve the Lord thy God with all thy heart and with thy soul and with all thy soul. Just what Jesus said, to keep the commandments of the Lord and his statutes, which I command thee this day for thy good. So that's where Jesus pulled it from. Jesus pulled that. What are the 2 greatest commandments, Jesus? He pulled it right from Deuteronomy 10. Right here in that scroll, the scroll of Deuteronomy, he pulled it from right here. Now it's broken down in chapters and verses, but in the scroll it was one long thought. Okay. But this is where Jesus pulled it from. Love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, soul, mind, and keep my commandments, which is what, brothers and sisters? To love your neighbor as you love yourself. That is all God required from the children of Israel. It says to keep the commandments of the Lord and his statutes, which I command thee this day for thy good. And see, it's for thy good. Because we didn't really understand that. We know that the commandments are not going to save us, brothers and sisters. Only thing that's going to save you is faith in Christ. Jesus is going to make that decision on whether or not you can get into the kingdom. I don't care how many Sabbaths you keep. I don't care how much of any of that you do. If you don't got no faith, okay, here's the work that you should work. Faith. If you don't have any faith, brothers and sisters, you in trouble. You got to have faith in the Lord. This is what the Lord had been saying about our people since the beginning. He says, a stubborn, rebellious generation, children in whom is no faith. That is our greatest weakness, faith. And that right there is why the Lord made sure that that was the way to life. Faith. The very thing Israel struggled with, that's the thing I'm going to make be the doorway or the path to life. All right. But that's all the Lord wants. Love him and love your neighbors as you love yourself. And that's where Jesus, that's where he pulled it from, brothers and sisters, right there. So nothing he was saying was new. There was no New Testament during that time. They was pulling right from here. The Lord was revealing what God was requiring. Love him and love your people. That's it. And you do that, you can't go wrong. But guess what? He say you're going to do this for your good, because guess what? If you do not obey the Lord, then you start entering into chaos. There's chaos everywhere. Look at the black community. Chaos. Black women, none of them married, but yet all of them got 5 or 6 children following them. The boys on the street on dope, selling dope, playing their music so loud that the whole neighborhood can hear it, agitating the black people that's got to go, agitating their brothers and sisters that's got to go to work in the morning. So now they're grumpy. Then you got sellouts in the community selling out for $1, turning their back, exploiting their brothers and sisters to make $1. Brothers and sisters, that's chaos. Little demon children running around everywhere, terrorizing the neighborhood. That is chaos. And this is what happened, brothers and sisters, when you don't want to do things God's way. Is it going to save you? Absolutely not. But what it is going to do, when you do what the Lord tell you to do, it's going to bring order. And that's what we need, brothers. We need order. You can't just do what you want to do. Especially for y'all Christians, y'all be the first one. No, we ain't got to do what God say. All you got to do is have faith. And absolutely. The faith, that is vital. But guess what? You still got to be obedient to the Lord. You got to keep his commandments, not for salvation, but for peace, for prosperity, for order. You don't got to do what God say. But when your own children don't do what you say in their house, and I mean in your house, which this house we living in today is the earth. Your kids don't do what you say. You get that belt and you beat the hell out of them. But then when it come to God, you don't got to do nothing. Oh, hell no. That's not how that works. You know damn well if your kids get you wrong, you're going to be up in them. You're going to be in their face. What did you say, boy? You ain't going to do what? But then when it comes to the Lord, we ain't got to do that. And that's why the Lord jacking y'all up right off y'all feet. You going to do what he say. And these Israelites out here, they're going to find that out shortly. You don't get to do what you want to do. There are rules everywhere you go. In public, at the job, at home. It's rules everywhere. So guess what? When it comes to God, there are definitely rules. Okay? Why you think people, Israel, heathen alike, are getting put to death out here? Why? They think they can do what they want to do. No. When you sin, meaning you transgress God, you get him wrong, he coming with that rod. He gonna come upside your head. And you know that you would do the same thing to your kids. If they got you wrong and found themselves thinking they do what they want to do, you will have that belt out quick. What you said, boy? What you said, girl? Y'all be quick to check them. Will the Lord do the same thing to us? Okay? Let me get some more water. Verse 14. It says, behold, the heaven and the heaven of heavens is the Lord's thy God. The earth also, with all that therein is. So he's saying earth, and then heaven, meaning the firmament, and then the heaven of heavens, meaning where he dwells right now. It said all of that belongs to the Lord. And what is he saying in that too? Man don't run nothing, and you don't run nothing. I don't care what kind of job you got. I don't care your economic status, your social status. I don't care how much land you own. I don't care what you do. None of that stuff belongs to you. Not even the breath that you breathe in your body. None of that is by way of you. The Lord owns you. He owns you, the stuff you possess, and the breath in your body. You belong to him. That's why Jesus, he said, give unto Caesar what is Caesar's. Because that coin, that was in the image of Caesar. So Jesus said, give unto Caesar what is Caesar's. But see, you were made in the image of God. So you give to the Lord what is his, and that is what? You his property. He's not your property. You are his property. That is your master. That's why my master down here, I don't pay him no mind. I be respectful. I do what I'm supposed to do. But I know I have a heavenly master who is also my master's master. That's why I don't get rattled down here on this earth, because I know there's a heavenly master that's pulling the strings, making everybody do the dance. See? And when you know that, brothers and sisters, you don't get shook by nothing. Okay? Verse 15, it says, only the Lord had a delight in thy fathers to what? Love them. So only he had a delight to love our fathers. And he chose their seed after them, even you, above all people, as it is this day. So the Lord, only he had a delight to love Abraham, to love Isaac and Jacob. Listen, they didn't choose the Lord chose them. And when they heard the call, brothers and sisters, they were obedient. They had faith in the Lord. And the Lord decided to choose Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob and their seed after them. Abraham heard the call. He answered. He was obedient. He had the faith. And so because of that, the Lord said, you know what? I'm going to bless this man, and I'm going to bless his seed after them. And I'm going to take them into a land that is not theirs. And I'm going to give them that good land. Okay? And he said, I chose you above all people. This is above all the nations. See, this is stuff that is not read in the Sunday church. He said, I chose you, Israel, above all people. Even in 2024, why do you think we catching so much hell? Because he chose us above all peoples to be a special people unto himself. The other nations, I don't care how they live. I don't care if they destroy themselves. I care nothing about the nations. But I'm worried about my people. Other nations want to act the fool and destroy themselves. Okay, let them do that. But my people, they're going to be set apart. That's what I'm concerned. I'm concerned about my own. Okay, now you black people act like you don't understand what I just said, but it's heathens that's watching me right now. They know exactly what I'm talking about because they're nationalists. They love their people and they only care for their people. They have pride in who they are and pride in their people. You don't have that though. You want to include everybody. You want everybody to be on the same level. That's not how they think. You let them nations catch wind or something that the Lord gonna choose them above everybody. That they not gonna give that up, but you will, because you love everybody, but everybody doesn't love you. You want to be equal with everybody, but everybody doesn't want to be equal with you. And that's how wicked Israelites think. I don't think like that. When the Lord said he chose me above all people, that's the way I carry myself. I know I'm a captive right now, but in my mind, when I walk around Mr. Charlie and Miss Sue, I know I'm above them. They don't know it yet because this is just a position the Lord put us in. But I know in my mind, I'm above these people. They're going to go in the trash at the end. And I'm going to rise to the top. I know this. That's why nothing they do rattle me. Hey, nigger! It don't faze me because I know what this book say. I know who I am. I know what the Lord got for me in the future. I don't be studying that stuff. You walk around knowing you talking to your future captives. Hey, y'all gonna be captives to me at the end. That's why I look at them here and I just smile. Because they don't know what's destined for them. I'm the slave today, but tomorrow you're going to be the slave. You the master today, but tomorrow I'm going to be the master. And don't think you can come over here and serve our God just thinking that, oh, somehow if I serve their God, then all of that'll go away. Oh, hell no. You still going into captivity. What, you thought your position was going to change? Because you bowed the knee to our God? No, you going into captivity. Wasn't Daniel, Nehemiah, and them, weren't they in captivity? Your ass going into captivity. Okay? But let's keep going, brothers and sisters. I don't want to get stuck. Verse 16 says, circumcise therefore the foreskin of your heart and be no more stiff-necked. This is the circumcision that the Lord wants, brothers and sisters, because long before circumcision was brought upon Abraham, Abraham was circumcised in the heart, in his mind. He was obedient, but more than that, he had faith. And that faith gave way to obedience. That's what the Lord is saying. I want you to have faith, Israel. You don't have any faith. That's why when these Israelites, especially in the New Testament, they was pushing circumcision real hard. They didn't understand that that was a useless act without faith. If you don't have faith and you get circumcised, you literally just did that for nothing. And that's what Israel didn't see. They were putting the cart before the horse. No, you got to have the faith first before you even think about doing anything. That's why Paul said, what came first? The circumcision or the faith? The faith came. That's why the Lord harped on faith. I need the faith to be there. You don't have any faith. What are you doing being circumcised? You don't have no faith. No, the circumcision came because you had faith. Because circumcision was a symbol. People don't understand that about circumcision anyway. Circumcision is just a symbol that you have faith. But why the hell you getting circumcised and you don't have any faith? That makes no sense, brothers and sisters. That is a useless act if you have no faith. You get it done, token for what? Token of your unbelief? No, it's a token that you have faith. And so when you do that, now you're taking the Lord's name in vain, because now you're getting this done, but you don't live no life at all that symbolizes that you have faith in God. But that right there is a whole nother topic. Okay. Verse 17. For the Lord your God is God of gods, or that's another way of saying King of kings, and Lord of lords, a great God, a mighty and a terrible. Meaning, if you cross me, I got something for you. Which regardeth not persons. Okay. On this earth, let me tell you something. On this earth, man favor each other based on their socioeconomic status. I'm here to tell you, God don't give a damn about none of that. A king on this earth, to him, is probably lesser than a commoner. Everybody is trash in his sight. So who you honor as king and queen, in his eyes, you're lesser than a commoner. Nobody stands before me and think they something. That's why you ought to humble yourself before God. I see people do that on this earth, getting caught up in their titles and their positions, and they think somehow it makes them God. No, God will split your wig. You are not to be glorified. You are not to be worshiped. That is not your place. Your place is to worship and glorify the God of heaven. That's what you're supposed to. That's what you were made for. Why you think when these men and women start getting worshiped and start getting glorified, why do you think they go nuts, brothers and sisters? You see them, they get crazy. Because we were not meant for that. We were meant to worship and glorify and honor the God of heaven. Man is not made for that. That's why they go crazy every time. Why you think the celebrity's so crazy? Because God didn't make you for that. That's why them celebrities, they be going nuts. They know in a psych ward, because you weren't meant to be glorified and praised like that. That was meant for the God of heaven. But he said he don't regard, it says, which regardeth not the persons, nor what taketh reward. Meaning, once I get on your case, let me tell you something. You can't buy me off. See, in Babylon, as long as you got the money, you can get off. The Lord say, listen here. When I get on your case, you can't buy me off. I'm coming for you. See, in Babylon, money is what is worshipped. The gods of gold, the gods of silver. And as long as you got them gods of gold and silver, hey, Babylon willing to kind of, cut you a little deal. Kind of, I can kind of get you out of this now. Not all the way, but I can kind of get you out of this. Just pay me a little money on the side and we can see what we can make happen. No, God is coming for you. Babylon is going to let you off. They are. But you don't know, when you cross the street, I got a bus waiting on you. I got a bus, and it's real heavy too, and it's big and wide. And it's waiting on you as soon as you cross the street. Babylon gonna let you get off, but I'm not. Look at the death toll, brothers and sisters. Just in America, I can't speak for you brothers and sisters in the other countries, but just in this nation alone, look at the death toll. That is not normal. And that is proof that God don't take reward. Listen, nobody else ain't gonna correct you because everybody else is wicked, but I'm gonna correct you. And there's gonna be nobody to stand before me and say, God, please don't do this. Lord, I'll give you this money right here, or I give you this gold chain to just, call off the hit. Call off. Nah, the Lord, like, when I got my iron sights on you, I'm gonna get you. We ought to fear that, brothers and sisters. You must fear that. But let's keep going. Verse 18. He doeth execute the judgment of what? The fatherless and widow, and loveth what? The stranger, and giving him food and what? Raiment. So let me tell you something, right? What does the Lord mean? I love the stranger, the fatherless, and the widow. You know what he's saying? The people that are taken advantage of, the people that are less fortunate, those that may have disabilities. See, the Lord loved these people, brothers and sisters. Now the world see them as objects to be taken advantage of. Right? Like the heathen, they take advantage of our widows, meaning our women, right? Because our women, even though the man may not be dead, this man, may have impregnated this woman, this black woman, and he ran off somewhere. So guess what? This woman, in a sense, is considered a widow. And now that child is fatherless. Well, this Babylonian system ran by these heathen, they take advantage of this black woman. Yeah, this Section 8 housing. All you got to do is get this. You can't have no man in there now. You see? Oh, yeah, get these stamps and stuff like that. Do this, do that. Then taking advantage of the little black boys, the little black girls that's fatherless. Setting traps for them. Hey, the Lord say, I'm going to judge you for that type of stuff. Setting traps and exploiting these people. God don't take kindly to that, man. Mistreating the poor. And it's funny because it says he do execute judgment, he do execute the judgment of the fatherless and the widow and love the stranger. It's funny because the people that usually abuse these type of people are authority figures. People that's got power. People that's got money. These are the people that are taking advantage of these people. And the Lord is saying, listen, I may let you get by, not away, but by for a while. But hey, I'm coming for you though. You need to understand that you is not getting away. That's why you see some man or some woman been taking advantage of people for years, for decades, seem unstoppable. And then as soon as the person retire or feel like, ooh, I'm finally comfortable, I'm finally where I want to be, the Lord kill them. Because the Lord said he execute judgment. He don't play, man. Ain't nobody getting away. Verse 19. Love ye therefore the strangers, for ye were what? Strangers in the land of Egypt. Okay. And so you will have brothers and sisters, right? You will have Israelites later that will come from other countries and they will come into the land. What was the Lord saying? Listen, don't take advantage of your brothers and sisters. Because a lot of your brothers and sisters later on, in y'all tenure in the land, hey, later on, they're going to be born in other countries. And when they come back to their native land, they're going to be strangers there. Don't take advantage of them. If you do, I'm coming for you. Right? You know that your brother is stranger, right? He was born in another land, but he come over here, so he don't know how things work. You know damn well that shirt, $10. But when he come over here, you like, it's 25. Because you know he don't know how things work. And I say that because this actually goes on sometimes when you visit other countries and stuff like that. They'll take advantage of you. because you were strangers. So they're like, oh, we're going to take advantage of him because he don't know what's going on. Lord say don't do that. Verse 20. Thou shalt fear the Lord thy God. Him shalt thou serve, and him shalt thou cleave, and swear by his name. He is thy praise, and he is thy God, that have done for thee these great and terrible things, which thine eyes have seen. Thy fathers went down into Egypt with 70 persons, and now they have made thee as the stars of heaven for multitude. So it started off as 70 souls, and now look, stars, we as the stars of heaven. All right, let's see if I want to read through this one. Here we go. Yeah, we'll keep reading. Deuteronomy 11:1. He says, therefore shalt thou love the Lord thy God, and keep his charge, his statutes, and his judgments, and his commandments, always. Obedience, okay? And know ye this day, for I speak not with your children, which have not known, which have not seen the chastisement of the Lord your God, and his greatness, his mighty hand, and his stretched out arm, and his miracles, and his acts. See, these are all things that black people have not seen in 2024. This is why they don't fear the Lord. And his miracles and his acts, which he did in the midst of Egypt, unto Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and unto all his land, and what he did unto the army of Egypt, and unto their horses, and to their chariots, how he made the water of the Red Sea to overflow them as they pursued after you, and how the Lord hath destroyed them unto this day, and what he did unto you in the wilderness, until you came into this place. Because Israel showed out, the Lord got him in the wilderness. Verse 6. And what he did unto Dathan and Abiram, the sons of Eliab, the son of Reuben, how the Lord opened her mouth and swallowed them up, and their households, and their tents, and all the substance that was in their possession in the midst of all Israel. He says, but your eyes have seen all the great acts of the Lord, which he did. Therefore shall ye keep all his commandments, which I command you this day, that ye may be strong, and go in and possess the land, whither ye go to possess it. And you know, they got all kind of documentaries and stuff on YouTube about how life was for black people in this nation, at least, before where we are now. Show your children, sit they black behind down and show them. And get some scriptures with it, with them documentaries, and show them the Lord, all this horror, the horror that you see. Hey, man, this is what the Lord subjected us to, because we were disobedient to him. You see us going across that middle passage and all that? Hey, because the Lord warned us. Show your children that. That'll put some fear in them. And so you don't do what he say. This is what God can do to you. He'll put chains on you. He'll cause you to be beaten. He'll cause you to starve to death, thirst to death, die dehydrated. See, this stuff you got to show your children, so that way they know I crossed this God. He can really hurt me. Look what he did to my ancestors. Look at the life that he subjected us to. Show them the documentaries on sharecropping. Don't tell them how the heathen did all this. No, you show them this is what the Lord subjected us to. This is what happened to us because we were disobedient. And they're going to be horrified by it. Yeah, they are. But it's good. You put that fear in them. So that way they know. I don't serve my God. I don't regard him. hey, this is what he prepared to do to me. He's prepared to take it this far. The Lord is no joke, brothers and sisters. And that's why we need to teach our children so that way we don't ever run into a situation where there rose up a generation that did not know God. That means somebody wasn't being taught. We gotta always teach our children. Thus saith the Lord. Verse 7. But your eyes have seen all the great acts of the Lord which he did. Therefore shall ye keep all the commandments which I command you this day, that ye may be strong, and go in and possess the land whither ye go to possess it. In other words, that way you may have good fortune. Verse 9. And that ye may prolong your days in the land. In other words, Israel's tenure in the land depended on their obedience to the Lord. You obeyed the Lord, you stay in the land a long time. You disobeyed the Lord, you was going to be out of there quick. You was going to get the same punishment as the Canaanites. Verse 9. So he says that you may prolong your days in the land which the Lord sware unto your fathers to give unto them and to their seed, a land flowing with milk and honey. This land produces well. For the land whither thou goest in to possess it is not as the land of Egypt, from whence ye came out, where thou sowest thy seed and waterest it with thy foot, as a garden of herbs. But the land whither ye go to possess it is a land of hills and valleys, and drinketh water of the rain of heaven. A land which the Lord thy God, what careth for the eye. So the Lord cared about the land of Canaan, which mean them Canaanites, they were just simply in the land as a placeholder. But it's a land which the Lord careth for. The eyes of the Lord thy God are always upon it, from the beginning of the year even until the end of the year. So the Lord's eyes is always upon the land of Canaan. Verse 13. And we find out in Ezekiel that the land of Israel is actually in the middle of the earth. In other words, it is the center point. Until like all the other nations surround Israel, Israel is right in the smack middle of all of that. That ain't a coincidence. 13. And it shall come to pass, if, and that word can't be skipped over, brothers and sisters. That's huge. It's a 2-letter word, but that is probably the biggest word in this Bible. If ye shall hearken diligently unto my commandments, meaning you're being careful. You're always looking to hear from my voice. That's what it means to be diligent. You're always trying to be aware of hearing God's voice. Always looking to be obedient. Oh, man. That's what it means. Unto my commandments, which I command you this day, to love the Lord your God, and to serve him with all your heart and with all your soul. And our people, they don't love the Lord with or serve him with all their heart and with all they serve and with all their soul, because that's given to their money, that's given to their car, that's given to their house, to the heathen. That's why they can't serve the Lord, because their love is given to someone or something else. But he said, serve him with all your heart and with all your soul. And it says that I will give you the rain of your land in his due season, the first rain and the latter rain. So brothers and sisters, the Lord control all of that, man. Prosperity, whether or not something grow, all of that stuff be linked to obedience. And our people, they're so carnal, but they just can't believe that. They caught up in the science of the fourth beast. No, it's Mother Nature. She hasn't rained. No, God withholds the rain. God decides whether it rains or not. He decides all that, brothers and sisters. Ain't no mother nature. That's a bunch of foolishness. Because that's the heathen. They worship the creation. They don't worship the creator. That's why they say mother nature. We don't believe that trash. God controls all of that. It says that thou mayest gather in thy corn, in thy wine, in thine oil. And our people, like I said, they're carnal. I just don't see how something can't grow out the ground, or the clouds can't rain if we don't, what you said, if we don't do what? If we don't like serve God or something like that. So that, no, you don't serve, literally, famine, pestilence. He control all of that. And because our people are not spiritual, they think it's silly. That you mean to tell me if I don't obey God, that I won't get no rain, that something won't come out. Y'all know what I'm talking about, how Israel is. They're very carnal. They're very physical. And it doesn't help now that they've taken on the mind of the heathen. So they don't understand a spiritual being is controlling all of this. They think they want to believe that everything is happening of its own. Oh, hell no. This is all being controlled. Okay. It says, and I was 15, and I will send grass in thy fields for thy cattle, that thou mayest eat and be full. So even when you see a field, the grass all nice and tall and thick for your cattle, eat the Lord behind that. He the one make sure it grow big, tall, and thick. That's all the Lord. Now, this is what he says in verse 16, and we need to listen to this. And the Lord says, he says, take heed to yourselves, that your heart be not deceived, and ye turn aside and serve other gods and worship them. Okay. And when is Israel heart deceived? Whenever they start prospering, because they start believing in their mind, I don't need God. Look at all this stuff I got. Not realizing it's this God that gave you all of this stuff. He says, so now you're going to turn aside and worship other gods. He says, 17, then the Lord's wrath be kindled against you, like it is right now in 2024. And he shut up the heaven, that there be no rain, and that the land yield not her fruit, unless ye perish. What? Quickly to my death, quickly from off the good land which the Lord giveth you. Okay. Our people just don't see how faith and obedience is vital to their prosperity. And notice, when the Lord get mad at Israel, that's the first thing he do. He take away all the things Israel enjoy. Like the number one thing they like doing today, they love eating. Israel a bunch of eating machines. Well, guess what? The time gonna come, he gonna take away that chicken. He gonna take away them barbecue ribs. He gonna take away them sodas and them drinks, that wine, the alcohol. He gonna take all that away. Because see, as long as Israel got that stuff, they're not gonna listen to the Lord. They say, by my power, by my might, by my own efforts have I gotten these things. And the Lord got to show them, listen, all of these little amenities that you enjoy, hey man, I gave these things to you. That AC that y'all love so much, you in your car, you in your house, the AC blowing on you, and your big 1-story, big 2-story house, the Lord like, man, I gave that to you. And see, you rebelling because you got these things, you sitting in comfort. But the Lord like, now I'm going to have to light you up because you think you've gotten these things on your own. Well, I don't need God. Now I got all of this stuff. He finna show you. I'm going to show you shortly. Okay, verse 18 says, therefore shall ye lay up these words in your heart and in your soul, meaning in your mind, and bind them for a sign upon your hand. This is not literal, brothers and sisters, but he's trying to convey the seriousness of faith and obedience, that they may be as frontlets between your eyes, meaning that you never forget. 19, and ye shall teach them your children. Look at Israel. They don't teach their children nothing today, let alone the Bible. They just don't teach Israel. Israel don't teach each other nothing today. These Israelite parents aren't even parents. They babies themselves trying to raise babies. And ain't teaching the babies nothing. They teaching them Sexy Red now. They teaching them Drake. But they not teaching them no life skills. They just ain't preparing them, ain't teaching them nothing, and ain't teaching them the fear of God, none of that stuff. And that's why these kids, they grow up and they get destroyed. The Lord take them out of this earth early. So even when it say you should not prolong your days on the land, it ain't just talking about the land of Canaan. It's talking about in this earth. The Lord like, listen, I will take you out of here. You can get so wicked that the Lord like, yo, I'm taking you out of here. I'm calling your number. That's why it's important for us to teach, man. Verse 19. And ye shall teach them your children, speaking of them when thou sittest in thine house. But what our people got playing instead? A bunch of foolishness. Everything but God is going on in the house. And when you walkest by the way, and when thou liest down, and when thou risest up. But what do you hear when you walk past Israel? No, I told that nigga, hey, bro, hey, I tipped that nigga last night. You don't even know what he said. You like, what did he just say? The women, I ain't finna go there. Hey, just tell that hoe I ain't doing it. That's what we hear when we walk around Israel. Foolishness. You don't hear God in their conversation or what he did for them. Nothing. Nothing sensible. Just foolishness all day long. I live in the hood and I hear these Israelites all day talking crazy and violent as hell. Can't tell them nothing, because you know why, brothers and sisters? Israel, it's what our father Aaron said. This is a people, their heart is set on mischief. They love pleasure and they love drama. Well, I guess we could just say pleasure, because to them that drama is pleasure. And we know drama is pleasure because Israel, man or woman, could be sick as I don't know what. Oh, man, I can't talk today, bro. My head hurts, man. I can't talk today. My head hurting. They say the same thing. Oh, my bad, bro. Oh, my bad, sis. I was just going to tell you about this thing that happened to Lil' Cup out here. Lil' Cup got his head busted. All of a sudden, they wake up. What happened to Lil' Cup? That's how people, you got their full attention. Full attention. Well, it's time to hear some foolishness. Full attention. On the Sabbath lesson, we doing the Sabbath lesson or any other lesson, Israel act like they sleep. Soon as you start talking about somebody, full attention. That's the type of people we are, brothers and sisters. We don't care about nothing. And trust me, brothers and sisters, there's some brothers and sisters, I say this, they get mad as hell. Who he think he talking about? I know he ain't talking about, hey, if it don't apply to you, what you mad for? You're pissed because the shoe fit. And if it fit, wear it, darky. But we're going to keep reading. Verse 20. And thou shalt write them upon the doorposts of thine house and upon thy gates. And brothers and sisters, I think this is more metaphorical than it is physical. Now, I know you got some brothers and sisters, man, they will go nuts. No, it's physical. Listen, either way, what is the Lord trying to say here? Don't forget his commandments. Don't forget to fear him. Be obedient. Have faith in him. That's all he's saying. 21. That your days may be multiplied in the days of your children in the land which the Lord sware unto your fathers to give them, as the days of heaven upon the earth. For if ye shall diligently keep all these commandments, meaning carefully keep all these commandments, which I command you to do them. See, and that's the most important part, to do them. And do what? What is the commandments? To love the Lord your God, to walk in all his ways, and to cleave unto him. Then will the Lord drive out all these nations from before you. When he talking to us in 2024, he say, this fourth beast, then will the Lord drive out all these nations from before you. And ye shall possess greater nations and mightier than yourself. That's why we can't drive this fourth beast out. Because our people doing all this evil. They don't want to serve the Lord. So guess what? This beast still on the earth rampaging. But we slowly waking up, brothers and sisters. A remnant is slowly rising. And that's all the Lord need. I just need a remnant. And when this remnant rise, I'm going to destroy this fourth beast. Verse 24. Every place whereon the soles of your feet shall tread shall what be yours? From the wilderness in Lebanon, from the river Euphrates, even unto the utmost sea shall be your coast. There shall no man be able to stand before you. For the Lord your God, why ain't no man gonna be able to stand before you? For the Lord your God shall lay the fear of you and the dread of you upon all the land that ye shall tread upon, as he have said unto you. And brothers and sisters, we all know, if this happens as a nation, it happens what? Individually. That's why you find that a lot of people are intimidated by you. Okay, a lot of them feel threatened by you, intimidated by you. They walk carefully around you because that right there, you don't know it, but the Lord to put the fear of you in them. Okay, that's what you're experiencing. That's why you always be like, man, this person right here be acting normal around everybody else. Then for some reason, when they get around me, they act weird and they be acting all cautious because of that right there. And it says 27, a blessing. Oh, 26, can't forget this. Behold, I set before you this day. And this is what happened. When you bring the word to the Israel, this is what's going on. I set before you this day a blessing and a curse. A blessing if you obey the commandments of the Lord. Meaning if you be obedient to the Lord, it's going to be a blessing. Okay, which I command you this day. And a curse if you will not obey the commandments of the Lord your God. And what is Israel experiencing right now? Curses. But turn aside out of the way, which I command you this day, to go after other gods, which ye have not known. And brothers and sisters, when we talk about gods, we talk about knickknacks and stuff like that, but the gods have changed. They've modernized today. Now gods are houses, money, women, men. These things are now other gods. The Lord say don't worship them. Don't go after them things. 29 says, it shall come to pass when the Lord thy God hath brought thee in unto the land whither thou goest to possess it, that thou shalt put the blessing upon Mount Gerizim and a curse upon Mount what? Ebal. Are they not on the other side of what? Jordan, by the way where the sun goeth down, in the land of the Canaanites. which dwell in the Champaign over against Gilgal beside the plains of Moreh. So we see in verse 29, Mount Gerizim, this is where the 10 tribes would move their place of worship, because that was the mountain that was blessed. And Mount Ebal was cursed. 31. For ye shall pass over Jordan to go in to possess the land which the Lord your God giveth you, and ye shall possess it, and what? Dwell therein. And ye shall observe to do all the statutes and judgments which I set before you this day. So the Lord keep on harping on that obedience, because he know how important that it is if we want to have a blessed and prosperous life. But that is it for this lesson, brothers and sisters. I hope you guys got some understanding, and I will see you in the next chapter. Shalom.